Welcome back. Today we are going to be applying some of the things that we've been talking about over the last couple weeks. So first thing we're going to apply is post-secondary education and some of the information that you've learned about it. We're also going to take a look at your personal interests, and you have done some Naviance things that have shown you personal interests, careers that might be of interest to you, and we're going to put all that together and we're going to look at finding a job that is in high demand that matches your interests. So what does in high demand mean? Well, to explain that, I'm going to give you just a quick little story about my career path. As long as I can remember, I have wanted to be a counselor or a therapist. I didn't research any other jobs. I didn't consider anything else. That is always what I wanted to do, and that's what I did. Well, I went to college. I graduated with nearly all A's, so I was an excellent student. I got out of college, and guess what? I did not get a job. There weren't any jobs for what I had gone to school for at that time. So for the first year after college, I worked for $6 an hour as a security guard in Boscov's. I eventually went back, got my master's degree, and then I got a job, and then things started coming together. But the job that I had selected was not in high demand. There weren't any. So even if somebody was the best person suited for that job, if the jobs aren't there, the jobs aren't there. So in high demand means jobs that are going to be there for you. And it is so critically important to consider this factor. So lesson objectives. The essential question is, how do you select a career that is in demand? How do you know if a job is going to be in demand? By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to evaluate various careers. We're also going to take into consideration the location, the training or education that you'll need, whether or not that job is in demand, and of course your personal interests. And in this lesson, we're actually going to be covering 3 different standards. We're going to take a look at the relationship between career choices and preparation opportunities. We're going to take a look at the plan that you have so you guys don't make the same mistake that I made and make a plan that might not be so practical. And we're also going to evaluate the impact of lifelong learning, because when I couldn't get a job, I went back to school, and then I was able to get a job, keep a job, and advance in that career. So here's where we're heading with this lesson. We're going to take a look at jobs that have been decided by Pennsylvania, by the people that are doing the research in Pennsylvania, that they will be in high demand in about 5 years, which is perfect for you guys, because by the time you graduate high school and get some training, we're going to be looking at 5 to 10 years, and that is when these jobs are going to be in demand. What we're going to do is we're going to take a look at an Excel document, and I'm going to teach you how to read this, and then you're going to go through and pick some careers and do some research with it. So this is where we're heading overall. Now I'm going to go into the specifics of how we're going to do it. So to get started, in order to be able to read the Excel document that I'm going to show you, you have to be able to understand certain types of training requirements. So I'm going to go over them and help you prepare for taking a look at this document. The first is short-term or moderate-term training. And what this means is you've gone to high school, and then it's just basic out of high school jobs. So it does not require a lot of training. The abbreviations right here are what are going to be on the Excel. So short term, on the job training. This is moderate term, on the job training. So these are jobs that you get right out of high school without any sort of professional training, but you might get some training on the job. Long-term training, so we have long-term on-the-job training. It's again a high school diploma, and you have at least 1 year of on-the-job training or apprenticeship. So these are jobs that you can just go in and get right off the bat. You're going to need to have some training, but again, it's not like you're going to a school or to a trade school. These are things that you're learning on the job. Related work experience. So here we have work experience, and again, this is a high school diploma, and the training is you gain training through doing things in a similar occupation. So if you think that you are not going to go to college, or at least not going to go to college right away, these are the types of jobs that you would be looking at. And when you go to the Excel, you're going to be looking at these abbreviations right here. We have 3 different. So if you're not going to go immediately to college or to a trade school, you're looking at short-term on-the-job training, long-term on-the-job training, or work experience. The next ones involve going to some sort of college. And when I say college, I mean college or trade school. So we have, if you are thinking about going to college or going to a trade school immediately after high school, the jobs that have these abbreviations would be the ones that you would be looking at. So we have associate's degree or associate's degree plus, which would be 2 years or similar type schooling after high school. A bachelor's degree, remember, a bachelor's degree is 4 years. Master's degree, you would go for the 4 years, and then you would go for another 2 years after that. So master's degree is 6 years total. And then a doctorate, you would be looking at usually 7 to 8 years of college. So if you're thinking about going to college or a trade school, then you're going to be looking at these abbreviations: associate's degree, bachelor's degree, master's degree, or PhD, or your professional degree. So you're not sure what I'm talking about with that. Here, let me show you the Excel document again. Here are the different jobs. And here are the educational requirements. So this first one is a bachelor's degree right here. So bachelor's degree. So unless you think that you're going to go to college or have an equivalent type of education, you would not consider these. So if you think that you're going to go to work right after high school, then you would be looking at the on-the-job training. So you see how they all have different abbreviations. This one here is an associate's degree. This one here is your bachelor's degree. And they go on. I mean, I just have a snippet here, but that is why it's so important to know exactly what kind of education you're going to get out of high school, because that will tell you which types of jobs that you will be able to get. So we've already talked about why post-secondary education matters, but just to bring home the point, any education you get beyond high school makes it easier for you to get a job. And I think this Excel really will help you see that, because the more education you have, the more choices you have. If you go and get a job right out of high school without getting any education, any further education, the types of jobs that you can get are limited. Post-secondary job will help you prepare for a career, and it'll make it more likely that you'll be able to have something that you will enjoy doing. It will be more likely that you can make more money, and also it gives you a chance to advance in your career, because oftentimes you hit a limit or a ceiling. So with these jobs, unless you have the degree, or you go to a trade school, or you have that extra education, you may not be able to go any further, and you may be stuck at making the lowest amount of money in that job forever and ever. But if you have some extra training, then you can move on up and get more money and have more responsibilities with that job. Okay, so how to use the Excel. Well, the first thing is you're going to need to open up the Excel. Then you're going to take a look at the bottom. There are tabs, and you're going to pick the county where you live. So I live in Berks County, so I selected the Berks tab. You can select whatever county you are in. Over here, it shows you the educational attainment, and this is telling me that all of these jobs here require at least a bachelor's degree or 4 years experience. Now, I just took a quick snip. There are a lot more jobs on the actual Excel, and there are jobs that have just on-the-job training or work experience. So there's a lot more than what you see right here. I want you to take a look and consider the annual openings. So for example, for general and operational managers, they are expecting 59 new jobs every year. Now, that might not seem like a whole lot, but keep in mind, when I graduated college, there were 0 jobs available in my chosen career. So 59 in just Berks County, it's a actually that's a lot. Even 7 new jobs, that is a lot when you consider that it's just that county. Now, if I went to some of the bigger counties, there would be a whole lot more. So you're going to take a look at the names of the jobs, you're going to take a look at how much education is required, and you're going to take a look at whether or not that job is going to have openings and if there's going to be an increase in openings. So to get credit for this lesson, you are going to select 3 careers that are listed in the Excel that are in your county. Your answers are going to be in the following format. And the way that you get this number is you can literally copy and paste from the Excel. So the Excel right here is the number, and right here is the name. So whichever 3 you choose, you can copy and paste the number and the name. Now, some of these jobs you might not know exactly what they are. It is so easy. If you copy and paste the number and the name of the job into a Google search, you will get details on that job. So if you're not exactly sure, you can certainly look them up, but you are going to come up with 3 realistic careers for you, considering whether or not you want to get training after high school, considering how many jobs are going to be available in that particular career, and also considering how much that career makes. To get credit, again, you're going to submit 3 careers, copy and paste, and that is step 1. And we will go on from there, but this is the first thing that you need to do with the Excel.